welcome to another fantastic night of Disney live art. And if you have an art request, let us know and let's get this party going. Tonight, we're going to be drawing whatever you want. It's viewer's choice. So before we get started, hello Keith, it's so good to see you. I realize that it's a Sunday night on a holiday weekend. So thank you everybody who chooses to be here. Really means a lot. So I'm thinking about getting started with 7 dwarfs. So why not? Let's get going. Woo! Heck yeah, hallelujah. And also, YouTube's doing a strange little thing where it says that nobody is watching, but I see the chat flying. Hello, Gizmo, it's so good to see you. I do remember you, Keith. How are you doing? And I love seeing your Amtrak. I do love seeing your Amtrak videos. One moment, everybody gotta get situated. YouTube has been doing this thing lately where it says that where it shows everybody chatting, but it only shows that where 1 person or 0 people are watching, which I find rather strange within itself. So does anybody have any guesses to what I'm drawing right now? If you have any family members or pets or any memories that you would love for me to draw, please let me know in the chat, and we definitely get to doing that too. I do remember you, Keith, and how are you holding up? It's so good to see you. I remember you from Amtrak, and I just love that you have an entire channel dedicated to Amtrak, which is so awesome. Woo! That is so awesome beyond belief. So I'm wondering, have you been on any more Amtrak trips lately? And I also realize that tomorrow is the official, that tomorrow, or either that not tomorrow, but on that Tuesday, is the official opening of Soarin' Across America. And the Muppets Rock and Roller Coaster for everybody. There's some annual pass previews going on this week, but I can't wait to see Soarin' Across America for myself in June, and I cannot believe that I got the timing just right, so that I can go to Soarin' Across America and I can see Rock and Roller Coaster's queue. I probably would just do the queue, but not ride roller coaster, due to my fear of going upside down. So that'd be the most rock and roll coaster I see is pre-show before I go kapoosh out of the chicken exit. Hi ho, off the rock we go, woo! And how are you doing again, Gizmo? It's so good seeing you again tonight. Boop. So honestly, right now, some of my favorite Disney characters to draw are Winnie the Pooh and Donald Duck. Not sure what I like about Disney characters, except for the fact that they are very, very easy to draw, especially if you're very familiar with the patterns and how linear they are. Everything is basically either an oval or a circle, which makes drawing them really efficient, especially for the early animators who drew them frame by frame, like Winnie the Pooh, Cinderella, and even the very first Mickey Mouse, and not Mickey Mouse, but Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. Sometimes some characters like princesses can be so tricky to draw that it takes like a Disney animator an entire day just to draw one to two full frames, especially when it came to Snow White. Snow White, and definitely Keith, I would love for you to be a moderator someday. When I get more subscribers and a more active chat. When I get more people coming on in, I would love to have you as a moderator. So thank you so much for asking. That means a lot to hear. And here we go. Hi ho, off the road we go. And I'm wondering, has anybody seen the live action Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs movie before? If so, let me know. I've actually seen it in theaters last year. Not last year, but back in April 2025, which is last year. I just not sure what I liked, but I just really love how they recreated just about every song and I've literally felt like I was on Big Thunder Mountain during the high haul. We're off to road train scene. I won't give any more spoilers. And also, when I'm in Disney World in June, what attractions do you hope to see? This way we can make sure to get them off on the bucket list. For me personally, I cannot wait to try the new Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin, and I would love to see the new Smugglers one with Greg Goom. I've seen that on the Amusement Park Pirate show before, but I'd love to see it in person, and I'd definitely be showcasing it to everybody if the lines are not 90,000 minutes long, which most likely they are going to be, knowing Disney World. Long lines unlike Disneyland. So I can't wait to go back to Disneyland next October. Gonna be so exciting. And I just love to show the wait times from Disneyland, especially in the Magic Kingdom. That's my personal opinion right now. And unfortunately, Disneyland has kind of ruined me for the Magic Kingdom in Disney World. What I find really impressive about Disneyland's Magic Kingdom is how everything is compact and pushed together like a Swiss watch. Let me know if you can see or hear. If not, I will refresh. Alright, be right back, everybody. It's a little bright outside, and the phone is kind of overheating, so be right back, everybody. Thank you for your patience. I think some patience to not get everything situated again. Alright, much better. And we are back at it. Boop. So does anybody have a favorite Disney character that they'd like me to draw? And I'm wondering, what is everybody doing for the holiday weekend? Right now, we're currently drawing the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. If anybody has not requests, I would love to hear. I would love to hear. And this way, and I forgot what I was going to say. I understand here. I understand, Gizmo. I got nothing going on too. Just been cleaning my room, and I was hoping that I'd get to do some barbecuing, but there's no barbecue or anybody who wants to do a barbecue this year. Last year I went to my neighbor's house to do some barbecue. Unfortunately, the neighbor is no longer around. Smoky, smooshy, smooshy. Mama Medulla, Mama Medulla. I like my medulla. I'm not sure, but for the longest time, I think of I associate the Hollywood Tower Hotel with a medulla. Hello, Jalen. It's so good to see you. How are you doing this evening? Hello, Matthew. How are you doing right now? We are drawing Snorri and the Seven Dwarfs. Otherwise, I can draw whatever you like tonight. Hello, Robin. So good to see you. How are you doing? And also, do you have anything that you'd love for me to draw tonight? I can do Daisy Duck. I can do whatever characters you love. And I find it really neat that we virtually got to see Daisy Duck at the Tusco house this morning. I'm not sure, but when I drawing the original Snow and Snow into the Seven Dwarfs, all the dwarfs look like they're rolling their eyes in the back of their heads. Alright, nope. These dwarfs won't be rolling their eyes today. They'll be rolling their eyes forward. And no matter of fact, I had a really wild dream a few nights ago where I dreamed that I was in a Hunger Games situation. Instead, we're trying to escape the county and trying to move to Texas. And instead of being in an arena, we were literally in a townhouse complex where we were trying to evade the capitals and the people, the capitals and the people who were making trouble. So we literally had to move like 1,000 people from one house to another. That was definitely a dream I had that was kind of wild last night. Not sure why, but not sure why I ended up dreaming about the Hunger Games, except for the fact that I was watching a Cookie Monster show, and there was like a Hunger Games parody where Cookie Monster ended up playing the Hungry Games instead of playing the Hunger Games. They literally had to consume a bunch of food. Cookie Monster and his friends had to consume a bunch of food just to be able to move on from one round to another. So that's what's been stuck. So I wish that what could be contributing to the Hunger Games. And heck yeah, Robin, you get the Daisy. And heck yeah, Matthew, woo, here it comes. Superman and Daisy coming your way. We got 4 to 7 dwarfs. So you know what? Let's draw Superman and Daisy. So I'm curious, Matthew, who is your favorite Superman character? And do you have a favorite Superman movie by chance? Unfortunately, Wi-Fi is being a little slow right now, but here we go. We got comic Superman. Speaking of which, my mouth keeps repeating the word but. And I'm not sure why. And I'm curious, Matthew, what do you like about Superman 25? I'm not sure, but YouTube keeps showing me that nobody is watching and that this is a ghost town. Yet I see the chat moving really fast, which is kind of confusing. Is why is the chat moving? But I see that 0 people are watching right now. It's been doing this to me for quite a few days. Yeah, and by this point, I don't really look at the view count just as like a future reference. Yeah, YouTube be working in mysterious ways. I might need to get an iPhone 17 at some point. Not sure when, but I love an iPhone 17. I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and it's definitely getting out of date. Pretty soon, within the next few months, it won't be compatible with YouTube. So there goes this phone. Wah wah wah. This just based off how fast Apple and YouTube are updating the apps, and basically it's gonna be out of compatibility within the next few months, from what I can tell. So technology planned obsolescence. Technology be kind of annoying at times. Thank you so much, Keith. And how are you doing, Jan? Woo! How are you doing, Jalen? Yep, that's right, Shay. Just like buying a car, the moment that you pull it off the parking lot, it loses 10% of its value. So $1,000 car, $90,000. The moment that you pull it from the parking lot, which is called like false depreciation. That's why I'm waiting for the iPhone 20 to release before I buy the iPhone 17. And the moment that the iPhone 20 releases in fall of 2027, that's when the price of the iPhone 17 is going to plummet. And that's what I've been waiting for. Is this for the price of the 17 to plummet? Then I'll do the same with the iPhone 26. When I get the iPhone 20, just wait a few years and then get the model, a few models, then get the so-called obsolete model. Tra-la-la-la. Oops, that's Captain Underpants, not Superman. And here's Superman from the 1960s. I'm doing well, Jalen. Thank you so much for asking. I'll be cleaning out my room, trying to get my room nice and clean. This way, by the time that next week starts, I'll have a very clean and fresh room. That's awesome to hear, Matthew. That's very good storytelling. And the movie Superman, and Superman becomes a punk rock star Superman. I definitely gotta watch that. And also, I've not seen very many Marvel movies outside of Guardians of the Galaxy. My biggest thing is I would love to watch Mission Breakout Disney Plus TV series. When I get Disney Plus someday, I'll be getting the Mission Breakout Disney Plus show. I'll be right back, everybody. Be right back, everybody. Thank you for your patience. Alright, we're back, everybody. Thank you for your patience. Hello, Kate. Good to see you. Woo! Hello, good to see you. We can definitely do Jack Skeleton and Zero. Please coming right up after we draw Daisy Duck. Of all the things, I've not seen Superman 2025, but it's definitely on a bucket list. And I've also loved watching Into the Spider-Verse. What I really enjoy about Into the Spider-Verse, about Into the Spider-Verse is that it uses a mixture of live action and animation, from what I can tell. And basically, they actually put the producers actually put 2D overlay onto the 3D Maya windows, from what I can tell, of Into the Spider-Verse. And also, Matthew, I can definitely send you a direct message. I do, yeah. Before I can add you as a moderator, I do need to confirm that you're on. Yeah, that you're on like that you started a new account on a different device and have a completely different email too. This way we can make sure that everything is safe and that everything keeps on going well. Alright, sounds good, Matthew. And also, how are you doing, Kate? Alright, sounds good, Matthew. And here is the sassy version of Daisy Duck. And it was like so cute to see Daisy Duck doing a troll this morning at the Tusco house. I'm definitely would love to try the Tusco house at some point. Yeah, I also do apologize for not being as chatty, as like talkative or as chatty tonight. I have a lot going on too. And sometimes depression can be the worst. Like literally, depressive episodes can come at the most random times, unfortunately. So I do apologize for not being quite as chatty as I usually am tonight. Not sure what's going on. Must be the weather or the rain coming in. Sometimes when it gets really rainy and really moist outside, I don't really talk as much and I feel kind of meh. Also, has anybody seen the new Grey Goo movie by chance? If so, definitely let me know how you liked it. I would love to see it when it comes to my theater by my house. Hi everybody, we are back. And that's why we got ourselves a Sassy Daisy. Unfortunately, if you missed it due to like an audio lag or to a YouTube glitch, unfortunately, I'm not as chatty as I usually am most nights. I just got a lot going on, a lot to think about. Hey Bessie, that's Bessie. I already fed you like 5 times today. I let you out a lot too. So that's Bessie. She's a family cat, and she be talking a lot, meowing a lot. I meant. So here you go. You guys also Sassy Daisy, and Daisy be having a pink tail tonight too. Why not? Yeah, this is Daisy getting ready to play soccer. I think this is Daisy's soccer outfit. So here you go, you guys. Sassy Daisy today. Woo! Here you go. And good to see you, Matthew. How are you doing? Alright, so after Daisy, we got ourselves. Oh, thank you so much, Robin. And also, let's see who else. And also, we got ourselves a Snow White and some Seven Dwarfs. So here we go. Let's get ourselves a Jack. Katie's asking for a Jack Skeleton. So one Jack Skeleton coming up. Jack Skeleton and Zero coming right up just for you all. So I forgot what time the Starlight Parade to start tonight. This way we can go directly to Starlight Parade right after this. So here we got ourselves a Jack Skeleton and Zio coming right up. And I'm wondering, Kate, what got you into Jack Skeleton and Zio? The reason I do enjoy watching Nightmare Before Christmas is that Tim Burton is one of my favorite artists, and I just really love when he does stop motion animation or directs stop motion animation, and people take on the style. Honestly, my favorite Tim Burton movie is Coraline after seeing it in theaters years ago. And there was like something there was like something very mysterious about having the other mother come on in and taking over your entire life. It's definitely a great movie with the song This is Halloween, This is Halloween, 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 Halloween. And what really gets me sad about Nightmare Before Christmas is when Jack Skellington has a rough time delivering with coming through like Santa Claus. And that honestly reminds me of how the Grinch of like the revolt, the anti Grinch. And that's right, Matthew, I can draw you riding the barn some roller coaster with your screaming. Yeah, coming up after this is Disney by Matthew screaming his head out on the Barnstormer roller coaster, just like how I was screaming my head out when I thought that the Tower of Terror was getting rethemed to Star Wars on April Fools. Yeah, Matthew did this prank where he told everybody that I was riding the Tower of Terror, and then kabam! Not the Tower of Terror, but the Tower of Terror was getting rethemed to Star Wars. And by the end of that night, by the end of the message, I was like screaming as if I rode Barnstormer 5,000 times and Rock and Roll 3,000 times. I was basically trying not to scream like a banshee. I seriously thought that Tower of Terror was getting rethemed in Star Wars, and then when Matthew said April Fools, I actually began to wonder if it was really April Fools or not, given how Disney is when it comes to like IPs. Speaking of which, as of now, Disney still has the CBS license, therefore it can keep the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. But Disney, I find it's really quick to change over their attraction to their own IP, just like what we saw with Mission Breakout in 2017, where Tower got swapped to Mission Breakout within a matter of months. An announcement was made in December 2016 that Tower opened, that Mission Breakout thingy opened Memorial Day or Labor Day of 2017, same with Pandora. And Joe Roddy said that was the most intense travel schedule ever, going from Disney World to Disneyland in the same day. And also, did you know that the Imagineers rode the Tower of Terror at least like 50 times just to get the correct song combinations and drop sequences? One of the Imagineers said, "I'm never doing that again. Never doing that again. Never, 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 never." And hello, Jim. It's so good to see you. How's Alaska treating you? Oh, right. Alright, so how's Alaska treating you? Thank you so much. We got ourselves James. Coming up with Matthew writing about almost. Unfortunately, the phone's overheating. Not sure what's going on tonight. Usually, it doesn't get so hot, but it's like 90 degrees in my room because my room is facing the west side. So we might have to cut the stream short due to an overheating phone, which is really disappointing. I thought we got the AC cranking, but nope. Because of how my room is situated, the hot air be blasting. So I know it's kind of random, but does anybody want to go outside with me? Put one in chat if you want to see artwork. Put a two in the chat if you want to go outside and cool off the phone. It's also really hot outside too, I realized. And also, here we go. Matthew Ryan Bonston was screaming his face off. So it looks like let's see if we can stick it out and keep doing some artwork. Sometimes during the summer months, since my room's the west-facing room, it can heat up to 90 degrees. Right now, it's 90 degrees outside. Right now, not outside, but right now, it's 90 degrees in my room. And it's definitely toasty roasty. So here's the gimbal. Here's Matthew trying to record Bonstamos, only for the roller coaster to be shaking him around. And here goes his power bank. Oops. This is his power bank, by the way. And I might add a bit too. More like screaming by Matthew instead of Disney by Matthew. I didn't realize that Bonstamos was an actual type of airplane. I thought it was just like a roller coaster. These things are definitely getting plain crazy. And I do get a feeling that the Barnstormers was actually inspired by Walt Disney's Plain Crazy animation. And what's really funny is that the Barnstormer roller coaster car is actually inspired by an airplane, which I find kind of humorous. That is like basically a very long, windy caterpillar of an airplane. I didn't know that it was considered an airplane roller coaster. I thought it was tractors. I only rode it once when I was 5 years old and screamed the entire time. What I kept doing is I kept checking the height requirement, thinking that if I was tall enough, the roller coaster would not give me the funny stomach feeling. Boy, was I wrong. Here you go. This is definitely not rocking roller coaster. Yep, don't let the wheels fall off the roller coaster. Kabam boop. This is the power bank going flying around. And what I find really funny, what I really remember about Barnstormers is that there was popcorn that was already popped. That was the only thing I remember seeing on the roller coaster track. Was popcorn. Other than that, I had my eyes closing and I was screaming as if I was riding Pirates of the Caribbean. Ouch. I also don't like how rough Barnstormers is either. Same with Gadget Coaster and Mickey Mouse in Disneyland's Toontown. It actually does remind me of Goofy's Flight School too. I meant to. Nothing can stop us now. Nothing can stop us now. Not on a perfect airplane. Picnic. Whatever the attraction is, oops. And you know that in Las Vegas, it can get as hot as 120 degrees Fahrenheit in the afternoons. So here you got yourself a Barnstormer with Disney by Matthew. So if anybody else has any art requests, let me know. Unfortunately, we might have to end stream a little bit early unless you all want to go outside and relax. It's due to, unfortunately, my room is like 90 degrees right now and climbing. Definitely afternoon sun. So you know what? Let's go outside and see what we can see. Let's go outside and see what we can see. I don't have a gimbal, unfortunately, but we do have to keep. I don't have a gimbal that works, unfortunately, and I don't have a more steady hand. So let's go on outside and see what we can see. My room's a little bit too hot. Thanks for your patience. Yep. I know some. That's like a little bit of moolah on the floor. That's the lucky money. Much better. I can finally breathe some fresh air. Hello, Andy. How are you doing? I know it's kind of a superstitious ritual, but sometimes be right back. And what I do is I leave money on. What I do sometimes is I leave money on the floor, and by leaving money on the floor, that is how I manifest. That's how I manifest wealth and prosperity. I just, out of respect for privacy for the neighbors, I'll be keeping the phone on the ground until we get out of the neighborhood. Thank you so much for your patience and understanding. Yeah, 90 degrees weather in my room is no joke. It feels like I'm in a steam sauna. And thank you so much for understanding about being so flexible. So I'm wondering I know it's kind of mundane, but how is the weather for everybody else? Whoop! I almost saw a destination. Then I can showcase you the area. Unfortunately, Matthew, we do have AC in the house, but no amount of AC can outdo the west-facing room. Definitely when it's sunset, my room has zero ventilation, and when you open the door, my door basically leads into another hallway with absolutely zero airflow or anything. Plus, in Colorado, the western sun is some of the most brutal sun there is. Combine the factors of my room basically being like a greenhouse trapping in all the heat. The heat have nowhere to dissipate or go, and it cannot. When my room only has one vent. My room literally only has one vent, which is why my room's a no-go right now. Unfortunately, the basement is being cleaned, so I can't use the Telltale's boiler room either. Telltale boiler room be out of commission. Ouch! That sucks, James. When I wrote Barnstormers, writing Barnstormers, I could not bear just how fast that thing would turn ricochet. And the reason why I like the Telltale is that it is a very smooth ride, even though it's pure vertical up and down drops. What I really love about the Telltale is that it's like such a smooth ride. That's what I love about the Telltale is that it's so smooth and such an easy-going ride, even if it's like even if it's vertically up and down. And also, otherwise, I'm refreshing. I realize that the internet's not quite the best in this heat. Yeah, this heat is rough on everything. Be right back, everybody. I'm refreshing. All right, everybody. Hopefully, you can see nice and clear again. Just had to do a little quick refresh, given just how toasty and roasty everything is. Whew, I just wish that the basement was available so that we could keep on drawing. Unfortunately, there's no flat surfaces outside that are not in a roasting, boiling sun. Yep, that's the unfortunate thing about summer. At 6 p.m., that's when the sun is roasting at its peak. If you can see or hear, please be sure to leave something in the chat. Not sure what's going on with YouTube, but it's definitely a delay. It definitely is a beautiful day, and I'm holding as still as I can due to the fact that I don't have the best reception. Hello, amusement park pirates. You came just in time for the outdoor portion of the shenanigans. Unfortunately, it is way too hot to be inside my room. Hi, as I did mention earlier, is basically a steam sauna in my room at 90 degrees and climbing. My room's only going to get hot until 8 p.m., but by the time it's 8 p.m., it is like 11 p.m. in Disney World, so I'm like, nope. So outside we go. Yeah, but definitely it's nice to be outside. No one else having trouble chatting and being very talkative. The heat was wrecking me. The dry heat was. It's one thing to be walking around in the humid Florida heat in Disney World, being able to duck and dodge inside of air conditioning, but it's another to be outside, to be standing in one spot with no airflow whatsoever. And even if I open the window, it lets in all the heat because the afternoon sun be blazing. It is 81 degrees outside right now, but yeah, in my room, it's 91 degrees. It's the hottest I've ever seen in my room, which is really unfortunate. But I just enjoy sitting outside by the soup. But there's something very nice about being outside. Even though it's 80 degrees, it feels more like 61 degrees due to the constant airflow, flow, and breeze. Yep. Hi. Honestly, I'm a little bit nervous about showcasing Disney World in June, given how hot it is in Florida and how quickly it can rain on a dime. That's why I'm a little bit nervous about June, just to be very honest. And I'm honestly a little bit nervous just because of the heat, which is why I'm probably going get the party going at 6 p.m. at night. Even though it's going to be blasting hot at 6 p.m., it's going to rapidly cool off by 7 p.m. That's the beauty of the Orlando heat. It cools right off. Same with Colorado. By 9 p.m. tonight, my room's going to be like an ice cube. There's no in between. So, yep, this is today's rant about thermodynamics. Welcome to the ranting and raving about the wonderful world of thermodynamics. And I kind of wish I had SpongeBob's aerodynamic spatula, because in one SpongeBob episode, SpongeBob would be flying around the Krusty Krab with his aerodynamic spatula. If I had an aerodynamic spatula, I'd be blasting it towards the phone and towards myself to keep everything nice and chilly. And yep, we're definitely by where the grass is green today. Sometimes you literally have to find where the grass is greener. And yes, the grass can be greener in some places. In my room, the grass was dark brown. But out here, the grass is bright and green. That's so lucky, James. Nice and cool. And I think so did Andy. That was when he first got introduced to Mr. Krabs, and he was applying to be a prep cook. So I was really wild to think that Mr. Crab was not really into SpongeBob being like a prep cook, just because of like his personality. But lo and behold, knowing SpongeBob, he actually found himself an aerodynamic spatula. And if that was a real thing in the world, I'd be having an aerodynamic spatula. Instead of taking the bus, I'd be flying around holding my aerodynamic spatula. I'd be flying around the city. As if I was Mary Poppins but SpongeBob combined. Right now it's 81 degrees outside and dropping down to 79 degrees in 30 minutes. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that it was Squidward. I thought that Squidward and SpongeBob were rivalries. I wish I was sitting in front of Cinderella's castle, or I had something a little bit more interesting to look at right now, but a bunch of trees and grass and meh. Oof, that's rough, Andy. Was it humid by chance? It's really wild just how fast your phone cools off when you bring it outside and blast it with the natural chilly winds. That's why when I'm in Disney World in June, I'm thinking about buying myself a fan. So when my phone be getting roasty and toasty, I can blast it with the fan. Oh, I get it, Andy. And SpongeBob is known to annoy Squidward with a flute and a harmonica. This is one of the quieter areas of town. Hello, Debbie. It's so good to see you. Right now, we're cooling off in a nice 81 degrees Fahrenheit weather. Unfortunately, it was a little too toasty to be inside. My room was 91 degrees, and I was roasting like a pressure cooker. And pretty soon, I was about to turn it into a Thanksgiving turkey. I'm like, nah, we're out of here. Yep, and then SpongeBob annoys Squidward with his clarinet. Mama Doola. If I was to redo this park and have it my way, I would have the Hollywood Tower. I would have a Hollywood Tower hotel right there. This way, I could ride the Tower at any time of the day or night. That would be my dream park. Is a park that looks just like this, but with the Hollywood Tower hotel as the star, as Denver's brightest showcase. Yep, and Squidward will be like SpongeBob. I'm not sure if anybody's seen this episode, but has anybody seen the SpongeBob episode about mean toads or about nightlights? Basically, there was an episode where SpongeBob turned on every single nightlight in his pineapple, and even put a flashlight behind his eyeballs. Then there was another episode about minotaurs, which really cracked me up. I know it's kind of a mess. I know it's kind of a wild episode, but I couldn't stop laughing about the minotaurs going me 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 me, just like the seagulls in Finding Nemo. Yep, it's so hard to get that. Letter would do that to you too, and actually, yeah, my talkie timer just popped, so I literally had to go inside to cool off before I became a burnt turkey. Oh my gosh, that's rough, Andy. I'd likely be sticking to that chair too. And if I stood in that one spot any longer, I would literally melt. I would literally melt onto the floor and become a pile of putty, which is why we're outside. Me. And I also cannot unsee Baker thinking that he booked a luxury hotel in the high hotel lobby, and he'd be singing me while holding a red rose, only for him to be stuck in an elevator that just dropped him 13 stories. Hey, Gutty, it's a small world after all. We are definitely not in the Hollywood Tower Hotel, but we are outside enjoying a day at the park. We were in the middle of doing some live art requests. Kabam! Room climbed up to 91 degrees, and turned out, according to James, I was becoming a too roasty, toasty turkey, so I had to go outside to cool off. Otherwise, I'd be a burnt turkey. Mama Dula. I would love that, Andy, is if Disney had a bunch of different flavor popsicles as if we were in Zootopia. And speaking of which, there's a rumored Zootopia land coming to Disneyland California's Adventure. And what's really funny about Disneyland California Adventure is that when the park first opened, people said it lacks Disney. Why is it a generic California park? But then literally, when Disney started putting more Disney in Disney California Adventure, people were like, turn it back. It's too much Disney. Stop with the IP nonsense. Which I found kind of ironic. So I do hope that I do hope that hi. So honestly, I do hope that Zootopia overtakes Disney California's Hollywood Land, since it no longer fits without the Hollywood Tower Hotel, and turns it into Zootopia Land and serves us a bunch of popsicles. That is something I would indulge in, is a bunch of popsicles. Hello, Matt. It's so good to see you. So good to see you again. And you came just in time for being outside. Hello, Jalen. Good to see you. What's up? How you doing? Yeah, some days you win, other days you're stuck going outside to escape the blistering heat. And when I'm in Disney World in June, I most likely will be ducking in and out of a bunch of shows until like firework time. But when it gets to 6 p.m., that's when you're going to be riding the rides instead of being inside a bunch of shows and sitting around eating. Thank you so much, Matt. That means a lot. I literally couldn't believe that when we landed that Cleopatra 2 bonus, we got like 10,000 smackaronis on that slot machine on that slot machine. Matter of fact, before I forget, that slot machine does not give any real payouts, and everything on that slot machine and everything on that slot machine is just for pretend. But I find really wild about that. What I find really wild about that machine is that we got a 12 times multiplier with 3 Cleopatra symbols plus a double on the end. That's how we got payday. Good. Yeah, that's good to know. Amusement Park Pirates. Tony, it was just a rumor of having Zootopia and DCA, much as I prefer the land due to its size. Honestly, when I think about it, I kind of would lean towards keeping Hollywood Land the same, but maybe changing it into Pandora Avatar Land. And same how James, I thought this park would be packed with barbecues, events, and even live music. That's why I came out here hoping for some live music or an event going on. If there was live music, we'd be jamming out to the music right now, and we'd be eating a bunch of popsicles in the park, along with corn on cobs, and just like having like a park day, especially since it's a beautiful Sunday. So I'm curious, Matt, have you ever gotten a really massive Cleopatra 2 bonus? Oh, Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas tree. Now I wish we were in the Magic Kingdom. Mama Medulla, Mama Medulla. Yeah, so during long weekends, I really do enjoy coming out to the parks and having a neighborhood barbecue. Unfortunately, it's not happening this year. Hello, Soul Cargo, it's good to see you. Unfortunately, we got roasted out of the bedroom. It got so hot and toasty that we ended up in the park instead. If I was to stay another minute in that room, I would have become an overdone turkey, just like the turkey in the Carousel Progress. According to James, I would have been roasting and I would have been toasting, and I would have melted down to the floor to beyond the fifth dimension. Unfortunately, we were thinking about going to the boiler room, but right now it's being cleaned and serviced, so no boiler room for us. Instead, we are outside cooling it off. Also, so I did see the ears that you were making. They're absolutely adorable. It's so good to see you again. It's been quite some time. Mama Medulla. Mama Medulla. And I'm also curious, what's been your favorite thing to create lately? If only Tinkerbell would come out, wave a magical wand, and decorate this tree for Christmas, that'd be one heck of a sight. Most likely, we'd have a better chance of seeing the Sasquatch or Bigfoot than Tinkerbell flying around. Hi. Oof, that sucks, Matt. I've not gotten any Cleopatra bonuses in the casino. I also no longer go to the casino anymore because I'd rather be in Disney World, and I actually have a lot more fun in Disney World than the actual casino. I used to be interested in antique slot machines. Nope, not anymore. My new interest is the Hollywood Tower Hotel, which is the best thing on the planet. Yeah, back during my slot machine heyday, I had 5 antique slot machines that were fully functioning. And that's right, Chicago Disney World is a lot, in my opinion, is a really amazing place. Even though you don't get a chance of getting a payout or a payday, as you know, what to expect. That's awesome, Matt. I hardly play that game, but I mainly do Huff and Puff and Lightning Link games and Ultimate Fire Link. I have not had much luck on Lightning Link, even in the last few years that I was into slot machines. I didn't really play Lightning Link or Ruby Link. I would get only one bonus per 100 spins, which was kind of a waste. And that's good to know, Matt. It's better not to gamble to save money, and only to gamble with your entertainment budget. When it comes to gambling, I look at it like an entertainment budget like your movies in Disney World, and only bring what you expect to lose. For instance, if I know that when it comes to Disney World, I know that a day ticket is like $100, so I'm like, alright, I'm putting down $100 and I'm going to lose it. Same as if I was to put that same $100 into a Dragon Link slot machine and hope to get in that $10,000 grand jackpot. Because what I love about the Dragon Link machine is you can bet minimum on 50 cents, 1 cent denomination, and still be eligible for the grand jackpot. If I was to put in that machine, I would expect to lose that $400 as if I was to be in Disney World or the movies or any entertainment that I was having that day. Aww. That is so awesome to hear, so Cargo. Memories are far more valuable than money, and when it comes to money, you can basically remake your money and get your money back. But when it comes to memories, especially if it's like festival of friends or like a very special Disney event, I'd be all over it in a heartbeat. The reason being, yeah, the reason being when it comes to money and when it comes to memories is that your memories stay forever, your money doesn't stay around forever. Oh, that's so sweet, CC. I miss Disney so much. I miss Disney so much. But I have memories of meeting different streamers. Oh, that's so sweet, CC. What streamers were you able to meet? And I agree too, Missing Park Pirates. For me, when I was at the tail end of my slot machine days, I mostly went down there just to gamble with people and to have memory and just to have a social outlet and just to make memories. Same with why I go to Disney World. It's to meet people, have a good time with people, and have shared experiences. That's so that's so awesome to hear, CC, that you met Disney Parks with Love and Skull Jason. Aww. Jason and Disney Parks with Love are definitely rock stars. They definitely bring out the good times, and what I love about Disney streamers, especially the Disney Streamer Network, is that you can watch multiple streams at the same time, and you can actually be able to sit around and feel like that you are at the parks, which is amazing. Very well put, amusement park pirates. I really needed that reminder. Remember, it's not about the destination, but the journey along the way. And same here, Matt. I couldn't agree more. I'd rather make memories than chasing money all my life. Sometimes it's so easy to get caught up with chasing money that you forget to make memories where you're walking nonstop, but you never give yourself rest or time to be with your friends. And all you remember for that entire year is sitting at your office or doing whatever work you do. But then you don't have any memories. It's one thing if you're stuck paying. It's one thing if you're paying off bills, and one thing if you have some really big financial obligations. But it's like another if you have. But for me personally, how I approach it is that if I have enough in the bank, I'll go out and make a memory. That's why I go to Disney World as much as I can, because I know that memories are very valuable and very special and loved. It's taking me years to realize. It's definitely taking me years to realize that difference between chasing money versus making memories. Hello, is anybody here? Hello, anybody home? YouTube is being annoying again. YouTube's being annoying. Not sure what's going on. We do have to go in a few minutes, and we do have to go in a few minutes since I have somebody calling me. Well, I want to thank all of you for being here. And I'm glad to hear, James. Woo! Glad to hear that we're all here. Hello, Debbie. It's so good to see you. We got a few more minutes. Then we do have to call it quits. But we can keep on. But we can keep on talking. So how are things going for you, Debbie? And I do hear that. Pete McDivitt and that Doug are going to be in Disney World first week of June. Same time I'm down. Speaking of which, I would like to meet them and say hello. Even if I can't talk for long, I would at least love to see them, since they're very prominent in the Disney Streamer Network. I'd also love to meet Skull Jason, Theme Park Giant in the park days, and anybody who's around the Disney World area. I'd be so hyped to meet all of you. And if there's a meeting going on, I would love to come on in and meet you. I realize I can't go into parks until after 2 p.m., which I'm okay with. I do have 3 park days. I do have 3 Disney days, 1 SeaWorld day, 1 cruise port day. We got some stuff going on in Disney down in Orlando. And I also cannot wait to see Cruising Theme Park Guide again. So when it comes to meeting people, I know that I know that sometimes people be like, you gotta be selective on who you meet. You gotta be selective. But for me, I just love meeting everybody, I just love meeting everybody, getting to know everybody, and having the time of my life. Alrighty, I see you around, James. Thank you so much for being here. We got a few more minutes. So another thing about this area is that there is a lot of dog walkers coming up and down the sidewalks. Denver is very known. Denver is very known for the dogs. Yeah, Denver is very known for the dogs and dog walking, and for everyone person there's at least 3 dogs or 3 cats. Denver has definitely paid a cat and dog tax. And honestly, for me, when it comes to meeting people in the parks when they're alive, I'm not the best at meeting people. I have very little sense of direction, so I don't. So when I was trying to meet Magic Goth vibes in Disneyland, I thought they were by Space Mountain, and I thought that the haunted mansion was adjacent to Space Mountain. So I literally had to run from Space Mountain all the way to Critter Country to the haunted mansion, and I was like huffing it. I literally had to run across the entire mile radius of Disneyland just to meet Magic Golf vibes. That's how bad I am when it comes to directions and meeting people in the parks. Unless I meet people unless I make an agreed upon meeting spot, there's no luck that I would meet you. Which kind of sucks for me because I am also prosopagnosis, which is face blindness. And with face blindness, I'm not officially diagnosed, but with face blindness, I have a hard time putting a name to a face, and therefore I get people very confused very fast. And also with prosopagnosis, it impacts my ability to see where I'm going unless I have a GPS or unless somebody is giving me step-to-step instructions. Hello, Christy, so good to see you. Neither am I, Debbie. That's why it can take me an hour to get home. That's why it can take me an hour to get That's why it takes me an hour to get to a place that sometimes takes me 5 minutes. Is I have no sense of direction unless I'm on GPS. But sometimes my phone goes kaput when I'm out and about, and I literally have to walk an hour in like a circle to get home. But yes, also because of how big Denver is, some places literally take an hour to walk to and on 2 hours to bus to. That's how the public transportation system is in Denver and where I live. How are you doing, Christy? So yep, that's some of my Denver rants too. Alright, so I'm thinking instead of doing a live art stream next week, where actually oh my gosh, I'll be in Orlando next week, so we won't be doing any art Sunday, but we'll be living it up in Epcot on Monday, living it up and SeaWorld on Tuesday, Wednesday 2 p.m. to Park Close Magic Kingdom, Thursday Hollywood Studios, Friday rest day, Saturday we'll be living up on Cruise Pod, actually not Cruise Pod, but at a Universal Park, and then we'll be we'll be living it up at the cruise port, hoping to see the Disney Treasure or Disney Wish at the same time. Disney Adventures is in Singapore. Thank you so much, Christy. I'm hyped over the moon. I'm so hyped right now. And I'm probably gonna start at 2 p.m. all the days. Even if the phone overheats, we just duck and dodge, get out of the heat, charge our phone up, and just keep chugging along. And also another thing to combat the heat is I will not be using a gimbal. The reason I will not be using a gimbal as of now is just to keep my phone nice and cool, and so I have one less thing producing heat. Even if the stream is a little wobbly, I'd rather keep the stream going than have to worry about my phone overheating and going kaplunk like a fried turkey. Otherwise, we'll be eating a bunch of pizza that night. We will not want frozen pizza during the Disney streams, so that's why I'd be blasting. That's why I'd be going handheld without a gimbal and a phone case. And also for Walt Disney World, before I forget and before I get going, is what attractions do you hope I'm seeing? What attractions do you hope to see? And also on that Friday, if I have the energy, I'll be resort hopping on Friday. Oh, unless it's like a bazillion degrees. Oh, that sucks to hear, Debbie. So, Debbie, when are you going to be in Disney in December? I'm gonna be in looks from the looks of things. I'm gonna be in Disney World first week of December. I'm gonna be in Disney World first week of December, and I really do, and I'm really hoping that we can get the Pete McDavid holiday party too, and give not Pete McDavid, actually Pete McDavid, and give the Kid Award fundraiser. That's the two events I hope to make it to, if the timing works out. And heck yeah, the Ratatouille, Chrissy. We'll make sure to ride Ratatouille. Even if we have to wait in a 90-minute ride, in a 90-minute line, we'll be riding Ratatouille. And also another thing is, when it comes to Disney World, I will also be there in April for Flower and Garden Festival. So we'll be seeing Disney World in April again. Even if there's a few months, we'll be back in Disney World. The next October, we'll be going to Disneyland for Not So Scary, for Mickey's, for the Oogie Boogie Bash. Unfortunately, from the looks of it, I will not be going to, from like the looks of it, I will not be going to Disneyland in October this year. But also, Debbie, I'd really love to meet you. I'd really love to meet you if you're around on these days. And I'll thank you so much. Amusement Park Pirates is never expected, but always appreciated to keep the party going, to keep the Ultra fresh, and to keep the cheers going stronger than ever. I would love to do a Jollywood event for Christmas, for the holiday parties. I would love to at least do one Mickey's party and one Jollywood party. And you too, Debbie, woo! I'll definitely keep everybody up to date on the dates and the times. This way we can all coordinate, meet up, and I know it's 6 months away, but I'm already counting down the days to December. Come on, December. Come on, September, like the Guardian of the Galaxy. Well, we do have to wrap things up for tonight. But thank you so much, everybody, for watching. If you have not already, please be sure to smash the thumbs up button and subscribe to Tornado Tower for even more Tower tidbits, trivia, and fun facts, and of course, Disney World and random Dimble streams. Oh, hey. So I know I'm in Dimble, and also another thing is, if you do enjoy seeing the Dimble area, sightseeing, or seeing the Rocky Mountain region, also be sure to subscribe. I know I'm technically a Disney Channel, but I also do Dimple stuff. You're very welcome in Pods. I had a wonderful time, you too, James. Thank you so much, Gizmo. I'd love to meet all of you at some point. Woo! Heck yes, to a wonderful time. We'll see you in Disney World next week coming on up. And heck, have a